Hello everyone, this is Toby from Virgo Sewing, and I'm doing a little bit of a different thing today. I decided that I want to make long videos where I show you the complete process of the restorations I do. So this is the first one, and I'm recording on my camcorder because I know it will take long videos without stopping. And the quality is a little bit lower, but you'll have to bear with me. And this is the Singer 206. And I have not looked at it at all yet, really. So this video is going to be sort of an assessment and maybe a little bit of disassembly. So I'm just going to start by looking up the serial number, which is EF153431. So it's a 206K made in Scotland, and it is from 1949. And this machine came to me from a dear old friend of mine. She's a nice old lady, and she brought it, it's in a treadle table, and it's a newer style treadle table. The table's in some pretty good condition. I'll be able to get it going with restore finish. So, what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to take off the foot, because I don't like leaving the foot up because that will put strain on the presser spring, and I also don't like leaving the foot down because we risk damaging the feed dogs. So I'm just going to take my screwdriver here and just unscrew that little thumb screw that holds in the presser foot. Nice original presser foot, and it's all gunked up with dirt and maybe some old oil that's varnished, but pretty good so far. The machine moves very smoothly. It's on a pretty narrow zigzag setting now, and we'll see if we can move any of these. And I think that will... Oh, that should have done something, but I don't think it's doing much. Here we go. And that widens our zigzag, this bottom. Or maybe perhaps it's just the needle position. Well, we'll have to look into that more later. But for now, what I'd really like to check is, with a lot of these early swing needles, they take a proprietary needle, which is a 206 by 13, which is just a little bit shorter than your regular 15 by 1. And I think Singer did this as an attempt to sort of make people buy only Singer needles. It's kind of like Apple now, if you think about it, with their computer and phone accessories. You really have to stick with them for some things. And if you use a regular 15 by 1 needle, your needle, when you go into zigzag, will hit the bobbin case. So that's why you really have to watch out for that. And what I love about this machine, of course, is that it's a rotary hook, which gives a really nice and smooth sort of stitch. So we're going to take out our bobbin case. And it doesn't look as if anyone has modified the bobbin case. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is remove our needle and check it against a 15 by 1. Oh, wrong screw, that's for the thread guide. So here's our needle, and I'm going to get out a fresh 15 by 1 and see if anyone has modified this machine. Not sure if you can see that, but they look to be just about the same length. So I'm going to go ahead and say that somebody has modified this machine in some sort of way to accept regular needles, and that's actually good for me because now I don't have to go and do that myself. So I'm going to turn this machine on its underside, and we're just going to have a quick look. So we've got our sort of fabric-y belt here that a lot of the singers have. And this is good and it's bad. See, this all discolored metal, someone might think that it's rust, but it's actually old oil that has varnished over time and sort of hardened. And it's bad because it means that there's quite a bit of cleaning to do in order to get this metal looking good. But the good thing is that by doing this, whoever had this machine before protected it from being rusted. I think in some Singer manuals they tell you to do this if you're going to store your machine away for a long time. So you don't even have to clean all of this away. Your machine might run smoother if you take it all apart and clean it properly, but your machine will run just fine with this sort of varnished oil on there as it is. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take off the faceplate cover here, and we're going to have a look at what's in there. Let's get that in the light. So it's very dirty, as you can see, and just so we can sort of examine this better, I'm going to give a quick cleaning. And when I clean like this, I like to put a cloth under so that everything that falls down doesn't go onto the machine, which will just be more work later. So I put a little cloth there that catches it all. Yeah, and we're getting a lot of dust. A lot of lint that's sort of hardened up, probably, along with the oil. Maybe bits of thread, who knows. All sorts of things you can find inside of your sewing machine. But other than that, it's actually looking pretty good. And the fact that this machine turns freely makes me think that it wasn't stored in such poor condition. My friend who gave this machine to me, I was helping her out listing some things on Kijiji because she's moving, so she just gave it to me. And it's been sitting in her house for at least 5 years or so. It could be a lot more, could be up to 20 years. But it was on the main level, and it was off the floor in its table, so it would not have attracted any rust or too much moisture while it was there. So this is looking not too bad, actually. Seems like just a bit of a disassembly and light cleaning job from what I can see here. And our bobbin case is actually in very good condition too. No scratches or cracks or any major rust or anything. And we have our bobbin here, which is a Type L bobbin. And the bobbin looks good to me as well. And just for fun, let's see how old this thread is. If I can snap it extremely easily with just my fingers, that gives me the feeling that it's over 20 years old. And there we are. So I'm guessing that this machine has not been used in at least 20 years, would be my guess, but probably a lot longer. Another thing I really like about this machine, Alex Askarov, who is sort of a master of sewing machine repair, says that this machine is the closest thing to an industrial that you can find in a domestic machine. And I would have to agree with him. And you can even see these sort of little industrial touches, like the oil decals that tell you where to oil the machine, which is something that you would usually find on an industrial machine. Plenty of Singer industrial machines have this. So the bobbin winder, what I'm a little confused about is this bobbin winder tire does not fit snugly onto the bobbin winder, and that's kind of odd. Usually your bobbin winder tire, I've never seen one that has sort of gotten bigger with age, but let's see if we can get that out. Very large looking. I think it's the original Simanco bobbin winder tire, and you can see there's tons of hairline cracks all throughout it, so that's going to be no good. But bobbin winders are very inexpensive and plentiful. As we go around here, the plating on the hand wheel is still quite nice. And look, I can even get a full rotation when turning the needle. That's a really, really good sign. And let's turn it around to the back. And let's have a look at what's on the inside of the back cover plate. Here we go, that's that big swing needle mechanism getting to work. And let's have a look at what's in the cover plate, which has the spool pin in it. It's been a while since I had a Singer 206, but as I am guessing, not sure if you can see in there, but there's a set of gears as well as the top of that motor belt, or drive belt I should say, in there, and those gears look pretty clean and in good condition. If you have gears that are all gunked up with old grease, there's a good chance that somebody put lithium grease in there, which is something that I would really never ever ever recommend. But it seems that this person didn't, and they had it lightly oiled with probably the right lubricant. I'm willing to bet that if someone had put lithium grease in here 40 years ago, by now it would have binded up the machine, or at least made it struggle along. Now the next thing that I'm really scared to do is, it seems like this attachment here was a sort of makeshift light cover for whoever is using this as a treadle, and I'm really sort of scared to take this off and see what kind of damage it might have done. I can see some pin rash over here, what looks like pin rash, so they must have secured some fabric to this area somehow, but I'm not exactly sure how they would have gone about that. But I'm going to loosen this screw now. So our light cover is coming apart. And it's not actually as bad as I thought it would be. There is some obvious wear from that. Part of the Singer logo is missing because of it, but better than I expected, so not a complete loss. And I think what I'll do now is, while I have this video going, I will disassemble the tension assembly. And if it's like I think it is, oh, it's not like a regular Singer one. You just, seems I just have to undo the thumb screw, take it out, and it looks like there would usually be a little sort of pin indicator here, which would tell you how much tension you have, kind of like a necky. A lot of the necky, the BF Mira and the BF Nova that I've had that. But it looks like someone has put in the beehive spring in the wrong way. Usually you have it here, and this piece here, it's shaped in order to fit that. But someone here had it in the opposite way. It's really unclear how that would have happened or who would have done that, but that's certainly not the way it's supposed to go. So we'll take off this piece here. And this piece here, which I believe this little piece slots into one of the openings. And finally we have our tension discs. We've got some old dirt or varnished oil on there, but overall these are in really good shape and they will clean and polish very, very well. And now I'm going to attempt to unscrew this tension stud, but it's very important to first put your thumb screw on first, because if you jam a screwdriver in there, as I'm about to, without this, you risk bending the tension stud out of place, which will make it much more difficult to adjust your tension, and eventually if you do it too much it might not fit. So now I'm just unscrewing the tension stud. And out it comes with the take-up spring. And the spring itself is also in good condition. Just dirty, but that's not a problem at all. And while I'm at it, I'm going to take off the hand wheel. So first we unscrew the stop motion screw. Loosen the clutch wheel. And I'm going to put the stop motion screw in here so I don't lose it. Here's our stop washer. And finally, our hand wheel. And it seems as though our bobbin winder is attached to the belt guard. So our belt guard is secured with this one screw here, and off with it comes the bobbin winder, which works very well. And here we have our little thread cutter. And these thread cutters don't work all that well. They were more of like just something Singer added on, which would make you want to buy the machine more. They don't have a very sharp cutting edge, so if you cut your thread and went to thread the needle, yeah, the cut wouldn't be so even. You'd probably have to go through it with your thread clippers once more. And actually, before I do this, we're going to have a look at the, we're going to open up the gearbox and have a look at what's inside there. Inside of this gearbox there looks to be all sorts of very unpleasant looking bits of string or thread or something mixed with old grease. See, I'm pulling them out now with some toothpicks. And all of that is just coming out of there, and that's probably old grease mixed with dirt. So I'm just going to leave that for now, and I might have to take it apart more later. But we'll leave it there for now. And I'm going to take off the needle plate. One other inconvenient thing about this machine is that the needle plate and the bobbin cover plate are all in one. So when you want to take out your bobbin case, you have to tip up the machine. A lot of people don't like these swing needle machines for these sorts of reasons, but I think they're quite alright. And it looks like our feed dogs are not securely screwed into the feed mechanism, which is kind of strange. That's not something that you see often. But since they're already loose, I might as well just loosen the screws all the way and take out the feed dogs, because we're going to want to give those a proper clean as well. So there are our feed dogs, just dirty, nothing else wrong with them. Now I'm going to take out the presser bar, and to start that I'm just going to loosen the presser tension all the way until this part pops out. And now before I unscrew anything else, I'm going to oil the part where the presser bar feeds into this bushing here, which is what connects the presser bar to your presser bar lever. Because once it's unscrewed, it's probably going to be a little bit difficult to get it out because of all the varnished oil. So I'm undoing that screw here, and you don't have to do it all the way. Wow, this thing rotates very easily. I like to rotate it around a little bit just to get it loose and to get the oil working in there. And this might be one of the easiest times that I've done this. And we're just going to pull it straight out. And out with it comes the spring and this little circular, I guess you could call it a washer, that this tension adjuster pushes down onto. We'll leave them together for now until we start working on them. And this piece here is what actually controls the zigzag. It moves back and forth. I will take off this presser bar lifter, and if you notice what's moving inside here, it pushes the spring, which presses against the tension assembly release pin, so that when you have your presser bar up, your tension discs are spread apart by that little pin that's inside, so that it's easy to thread. And to take out this presser bar lifter, I'm going to just undo this one screw here, and my lifter fell right out. Let's see if we can get it out. There's a little screw on top of this whole needle bar mechanism here. Here we are. Now I think, oh, there we go. This will allow us to pull it out from the top, but it's still, of course, secured in place around here. So what I think I'm going to do is unscrew this screw here, and see if that will let us, and that allows us to pull it out even more. I think at this point what I'm going to do is unscrew the actual needle bar, loosen it from its mechanism, and see if I can pull it all the way out. And there we have it. That's our whole needle bar mechanism taken out. And we are left with parts of it in here. And at this point I have a lot of ways that I can just sort of clean without disassembling anything else. And now we can get our presser bar mechanism out as well. And it does not want to come out. So we're going to leave that for now in fear of damaging the machine further. And I think that will conclude part 1 of this video for assessing and disassembling the Singer 206. So, thank you for watching, and check out the next part.